If you guys have been following along, watched our previous video, today I'm here to explain the final steps of the HKS Super Sequential blow-off valve installed on our A90 Supra. And we have sound clips for you guys. Vacuum lines. In today's video, we're just going to kind of talk about the inside of the car and where we finished our connections with this solenoid port. There's a pink wire that comes off this. And let's see if we can get in here. And this pink wire right here runs to the inside of the car and gets installed and connected to that module that I showed you in the last video. So we have this tucked in nice and cleanly right here, and it comes up and around, and you're going to want to go through the hole in the firewall over there. We already did that for a flex fuel kit, so we knew exactly that's where the hole was going to go through, and then you got to go underneath the dash on the inside. So let's go inside the car and kind of tell you guys a little bit about what we did. Before we get inside, I want to go over something with you that we noticed during the install that I want to point out. We brought this up to HKS USA. They're actually speaking to Japan, but for all you guys that have kits, this is not a big deal, but I just want to make you guys aware. This bolt here, well, this plug is a little loose, and I don't believe the instructions tell you to use Teflon tape. So we're going to recommend that you use Teflon tape, or we're going to look for another bolt for a replacement. We'll see if HKS actually comes up with an updated version of a plug for this, but again, it's not a big deal. If any of you guys have the kits, we know there's a lot of you guys out there that purchase them from us, and we appreciate that. We just wanted to let you guys know and share the information. This is the brain of the operation of everything of this unit itself, and they call this the boost drive controller. And what this does is it actually is tied into the throttle position sensor down there. So to do that, let me explain these steps, and all this is already done. So we're just going to kind of explain to you what we already did. So right here, there's a little small circle, and you have to lift that up, and underneath that there's a bolt, and you take that bolt out, and then you actually take the throttle pedal itself and you lift this way with it. You just kind of push upwards. You can't pull it out. Kind of slide up with it, and you can get that out from behind there, and behind there there's a supplied plug that plugs into you have to disconnect it, and there's a supplied jumper harness that plugs in there, and then there's a white wire that comes out that's going to plug into the throttle wire that we showed you in the previous video. So as you guys can see, this is part of the unit here, and that's the white wire going up. This actually is not in the way of our pedal itself, so we've left it there. We wanted to leave it there so you guys can show. The only other way to do it is probably to tuck it up behind the carpet during the installation. So the rest of the installation, you have to take this panel off and then all the bolts up behind there, and you have to get to the ACON unit itself. The reason they want you to go there because of the CAN bus unit in this car. So everything in these new cars is CAN bus controlled, and you can't just tap in or test wires that are going to test for a 12 volt positive. So the wires that they're actually connecting are the wires that are connected to the phone charging device. As you guys know, in the center console there's a wireless charging device, USB, as well as I believe a cigarette lighter. So that is a good supply that HKS recommended to hook up the power as well as the ground. So that's where we connect the 12 volt accessory and the ground, and then the other connection ran out from underneath the dash like I mentioned earlier and went up and around that area and connected to the pink wire there, and then this one came into the white wire, and that left us with this. So this is kind of just setting here right now, and there's really no good spots for this, so let us know where you guys would put it. We're honestly just thinking of putting this unit up on here or down low. We've seen people do pedal controllers and stuff in this same area and stuff. We purposely didn't mount this because we wanted to show this to you guys and explain everything. So as we already explained, we showed you what all these, or told you what all these connections are for. So this unit, it's probably best to mount up in here. Maybe you can mount it in this area if you want, but this button, this is an actual button. This will actually control the blow-off valve too. It's kind of interesting. And then this is your throttle trim to line up your throttle properly. And this is a timer how long you actually want the blow-off valve to be open. So from my understanding, when the throttle position is closed, the light's going to be green, meaning that this thing's ready to go. So if we turn this on and we have ignition, this will actually turn a green color like it just did now. And as we touch the throttle, we have to turn the ignition on. This will turn red, and when the blow-off valve opens, this will actually happen. Light up, sorry. Again, you're gonna need a little teeny screwdriver like this, and then you're gonna have to do some little adjustments. We went down the road without adjusting anything, and nothing actually was functioning or aligned, I guess I'll use, because you need to align the throttle, and then you want to adjust how long you want the blow-off valve to actually stay open. So I'm going to start the car and let you guys see exactly how this works with the throttle. So as you guys can see, the car is running now and the light is green. So if I give a little bit of throttle, it tells you that it's actually opening. And that's when the blow-off valve opened up. and that's how you can control it. So right now it's open a little bit too much, so I can pull it back. Actually, I'll adjust it all the way down. See how quick it was? Now if I adjust it longer duration, see how long that light stays on? So I'm gonna go for a really short one. I'm gonna bring this tool with us and we're gonna go for a ride and see if we can hear any in-cabin sounds. Oh, one thing I do want to point out, if you actually click this button, you can hear the solenoid up front. So guys, we're gonna drive. I'm gonna try to get this thing in 5th gear and build some boost and let you guys hear it when I pull off the accelerator pedal, how it releases all the pressure in that charge pipe. So let's build some boost up. As you saw when I released the pedal, that we were losing some traction and stuff there. With our tune, this is actually measuring the ethanol content, and this actually measures the boost levels. So when this gets full boost, you can actually, like when I lift the throttle, you can hear the blow-off valve actually open up really quick and that ear-piercing sound. Okay, we're in 5th gear. I'm gonna push on the gas and I'm gonna get it to build some boost up. 20 pounds. When you release, you can hear all the pressure actually come off the charge pipe. So what I was gonna say also is, like, when you're probably going through the gears in normal mode, you know, just shifting 1, 2, 3, 4, you're not actually gonna hear it every single time. And, you know, that happens when a manual transmission car, because you're releasing the throttle a lot. On this car, when you're going, you're full on throttle. So it's really not gonna release the pressure unless you're actually doing it in a higher gear or at the end of your pull. So I just want to kind of let you guys know the differences in that. You know, it's an automatic transmission, so it's a lot different. So we'll give it a pull just and let it go normal, and you can see if we can hear any sounds. So as you see, like as I let off, I think you can maybe pick it up on the camera, but it actually released all the pressure when I finished and lifted the throttle. You're gonna hear a little bit, we have the MST intake on this car, as I mentioned before. You're gonna hear a little bit of that sound as well as the blow-off valve at the same time, just depending on your boost levels and things like that. One last thing I'm gonna show you, this actually releases the blow-off valve. So I'm gonna try to get some boost built up. So I don't know if you saw it, but when I hit the button, it actually released the pressure. Thanks a lot for coming along with us for a ride and checking out the HKS Super Sequential Blow-Off Valve. Let us know what your comments and your thoughts are. Would you put this on your car? Is it worth it? I think it's pretty cool. The sound is actually really nice. It represents the true HKS Super Sequential Blow-Off Valve from the cars from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. So here's the modern version of the HKS Super Sequential Blow-Off Valve on the A90 Supra. Thank you.